It wasn't just the ad pricing in the quarter gone or talking up all of their AI prowess or narrowing the capex range. The thing that surprised many was them saying next year, 2026, we will grow capex. What did you make of that?
Sure. No, it tells you that the spending on AI really does continue. I mean, I think everybody's been concerned that the spending is going to drop off a little bit, but from a dollar perspective, Meta talked about how 2026 will see, substantial increase in CapEx similar to what we saw in 2025. So very strong for the overall infrastructure of AI.
I think what Meta was trying to explain is how AI is improving existing product. So there was strong ad pricing. I mentioned that because some of the Chinese advertisers pulled back in the period, but they still did well. What people still struggle with is the future, how Meta presents its AI to the world. Did you have that question answered?
I think with the way Meta is approaching AI, I think they're trying to figure out how much they want to keep sort of closed and how much they want to open it up to the rest of the world. And I think that's still up for grabs a little bit here. And I think they're going to just keep trying to test what's best for them. But for Meta, they're really seeing that ROI come through. And I think that's what investors like to see.
Just very quickly on Microsoft and Azure, we got a revenue number for fiscal 25 and we got growth numbers. What did you learn?
Sure. So for Microsoft, we continue to see, again, strong numbers and, the cloud continues to grow, helped by AI. So I think we want to stay the course with Microsoft. I don't think you want to drop off that train, but we know that concentration continues to be an issue within the index, and these names just keep getting bigger.
After the bell, we have Apple and we have Amazon. Which are you most excited about? I mean, Amazon, there'll be read across from Microsoft. Apple, my goodness, there are many headwinds in front of that company.
Sure. I think Apple's the one that I'm probably interested in and a little concerned about, simply because they've been a little bit slower when it comes to AI deployment. And, just the iPhone hardware upgrade cycle is what everybody's been waiting for, and we have yet to really see an acceleration there.
We just showed that the estimate is for Apple to swing back to growth in Greater China, so away from tariffs, the end market there. How closely do you watch that?
Sure, I think in the short term, we're continuing to watch that because it's been such a, high topic of conversation. But I think for us, we try to look at the long term and how Apple will continue to be, it's a little bit more like a consumer staple at this point with the razor blade model.
Okay, I want to bring some news that's broken in the last few minutes. NVIDIA has said in an emailed statement that it won't allow backdoor access to its systems and that there are no backdoors in its chips. That was response to a story overnight where China's internet regulator had summoned NVIDIA representatives. They were concerned based on comments that lawmakers in the US had made that they would require NVIDIA to have some kind of backdoor access. Clearly, this China issue with the H20 is not as smoothed out as we thought. Just your reaction to that basic story.
I think in general, we are more positive than negative on this story, just given that, again, we all thought that the China market was completely closed for NVIDIA going forward. And there are still details that need to get worked out, but eventually we think it'll get worked out and it will be a positive in that NVIDIA will be allowed to sell to China.
Is there a path very quickly, Ayako, for China to go back to being proportionately the level of revenues for NVIDIA that it once was?
I think there is probably a path. It's just the details need to get worked out. There still seems like, as we build out AI, security tends to be a big issue. And so we're going to have to figure that out.